Hello, YouTube. In 2019, during the excavation of the ruins of the Vishnu temple in India, scientists came across an extremely unusual object, a stone block with an engraved image of a bearded man has baffled them. The fact is that a certain foreigner is obviously depicted on the stone, but you see, according to the modern ideas of scientists, this could not be. What remains of the once majestic Vishnu temple is located in Singrauli district in Madhya Pradesh. And Madhya Pradesh, meaning central province, is a state in central India. Research work in this area has been conducted for several years. A lot of historical evidence shedding light on the thousands years old history of the country was discovered there. But you see, what was discovered more or less fit into the official theory. But in 2019, something obviously went wrong. A stone block the size of an ordinary brick was found in the very heart of the temple. Access by a foreigner was strictly prohibited there, especially since there could be no question of images. According to the reports I read, scientists dealing with the history of ancient India were absolutely sure of that. However, it turns out that everything was completely different. This 1,300-year-old piece has puzzled scientists who have no idea whose face it depicts. The drawing shows a man wearing a strange headdress resembling a cap, school cap, or a helmet. Clothing is also completely out of character for India. You can see something like a beard on his face. So what you see is an unambiguous image of a foreigner in front of you. This is striking as it means that a foreigner was allowed into the religious activities of the day. Such examples are extremely rare. That's what the superintending archaeologist, Dr. Manhulika Samanta, who headed the excavation, told Time of India newspaper. Clothes of this type were not worn by people of this region in those days. The drawing on the brick shows the presence of such a person in the Vishnu shrine. The attire and features indicate a resemblance to such things found in West Asia, according to Dr. Manthulika. The closest such example is the famous Heliodorus pillar in Vidisha. According to her, the 6.5 meter stone column was built around 113 before Common Era in Vidisha's Bestnagar. That's around 11 kilometers from the Sanchi Stupa, by Heliodorus, an ambassador of the Indo-Greek king Antialcidas of Tashila, in the court of the Shunga king Abhadra. Heliodorus is the first recorded foreigner to convert to Vaishnavism. Samantha added, the artifact dates back to the 7th century Common Era. What was on it? What kind of wanderer made an indelible impression on the Indians of that time that he was immortalized in a holy place? However, although this is quite unusual, it may well be true. But really, what is strange is the reaction of the Indian authorities. After information about the find reached them, all work in the Vishnu temple was immediately mothballed and a little later stopped altogether. The decision was made by officials of the Archaeological Survey of India, ASI, the government body responsible for overseeing ancient monuments. The decision, the cancellation order, was made and issued by the ASI director V.N. Prabhakar. ASI started working in Nagwa region of Singrauli after a gap of 150 years, and they employed from 20 to 25 locals. Now, the superintending archaeologist, Dr. Madhulika Samata, she was heading the investigations, refused to comment, but the newspaper's sources in the department told them that a section of the ASI officers are apparently uneasy over the puzzling brick engraving found in the temple. The engraving of an early Kalachuri dynasty Vishnu's temple is said to be extremely rare and left a riddle for archaeologists. The image of the bearded man wasn't the only stunning find at the site. They also found a statue of Vishnu so unique that only a few examples exist. Another interesting find is a stone carved with Ra and La in Brahmi script of the 1st, 2nd century Common Era. The remains of this period cover an area of about 1 square kilometers, and the ASI team had detected 4 more buried temples. Relics indicate existence of a big city. When the team was exploring the area, it found several rock-cut caves. Now, according to what I read, the official decree stated that the work had been stopped due to unauthorized research conducted using methods contrary to the concept of preserving cultural heritage. Simply put, archaeologists started digging in the wrong place where they were, if you compare it to what they were allowed to dig, the right location. The researchers themselves were outraged by this formulation and considered it to be only a formal reason. The decision, that cancellation order, well, as I said, it was issued by the V.N. Prabhakar. I don't know what the situation stands like today, but I have not read anything about further discoveries. And of course, those underground temples, I've not heard that they have been excavated. But of course, we will keep our eyes on this situation and our ears open too, because India is a fascinating place. And I'm sure there'll be much more to be found and more discoveries. And you can see my videos. Well, but why this decision? Why did a seemingly harmless artifact alarm the bureaucrats so much? The fact is that in addition to the stone block with the extraordinary fresco, many other artifacts were found, proving this area was densely populated 2,000 years ago. And there was an assumption that one of the largest cities of that time was also located somewhere nearby. And this discovered brick clearly demonstrated that in that era, relations with foreigners were based on completely different principles than previously thought. So the research ban could well have been caused by this small artifact. At least according to the journalists, it was precisely the discovered brick, the drawing on which did not fit into the historical worldviews of ASI. So this case shows, at least to some observers, the attitude of the authorities, and not only the Indian ones, to archaeology as a science. So far, everything is going according to the official concept. As long as it's going, then everything is fine. But as soon as scientists uncover something that does not fit into the accepted dogma, bans and other sanctions immediately begin. And, you can look at Egypt also as an example, but not only there, other countries too. So the legitimate question such observers ask, what is there to fear from the authorities? What do they think is dangerous that archaeologists can discover in the midst of centuries? We do not know, just like we do not know who that enigmatic person depicted on the brick, who he was. It's very interesting. And I've covered international exchange of ideas and travels based on research of Ivan Yefremov, whom I often mention in my videos. I've done a video about a year or 2 years ago based on his knowledge of the ancient history. Most of the people don't even know, cannot even grasp the extent of his knowledge and his expertise in this field. But it was fascinating how the ancient Indian priests communicated and exchanged ideas with the ancient Greek and others in Babylonia. Please see my video on the subject. I think you'll find it interesting. Look in the Concealed History playlist. I think you'll find a lot of interesting things there. But I want to add something else, something I found interesting about Madhya Pradesh, the epicenter of unique handicrafts. You see, craftsmen derive their inspiration from the state's dynamic historical grandness. Dhokra is one of the most unique and hidden art forms, kept alive by the Bhairavas community in the Betul district. The craftsmanship relies on the lost wax casting technique. It is a non-ferrous metal molding craft elevated by the community of Betul. This art form represents the culture behind the tribe, keeping the significance of both the community and their crafts strong. They use dhokra to enshrine deities, for example, in newly married households as a way of offering blessings for their new life. Curated with innovative motifs, this art and craft of Madhya Pradesh has many fans, people who adore it in India, and I'm sure beyond too. I saw one figurine that has really impressed me. Let's see what it reminds you of. Look at the very last photo in this video. This is what I wanted to tell you today, and I will strive to bring more information about mysteries and enigmas of ancient India that are being discovered today. So if you like my research and you can support me, you will find the links in the description to this video. Please tell others about my research and my channel. Please like my videos. And thank you again for your attention to my work.